Namaste, my friends. Today is September 12th, 2022. It's Monday morning. I once again did not do a vlog on the weekend. I had a very busy weekend. Well, that's not true. I had a half a busy weekend. But a lot is going on right now. My mental state is not at its greatest right now. I think I'm just dealing with some anxiety, a lot of, from external issues mostly. I'm dealing with my internals, it's my externals, but it's all good. It's all good. It is extraordinarily humid this morning and definitely overcast. We had a lot of rain yesterday, just pouring rain, which was good. We need it. And today's very humid. Some of that's just coming up from the ground, but also the clouds are thick. By 3 o'clock this afternoon, it was supposed to have a whole line of storms move in again. During my outdoor time, of course, after work. So I'm trying to get in a little bit of walk, doing a little bit of run, a little bit of walk. Saturday, I did a half century. It was 52 miles on the bicycle. It was an event we have here in Maryland, the Civil War century, and it rides through hollow ground and in the foothills of the Catoctin mountain range, and which is very, depending on where you're from, very low elevation. Yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful ride. Actually, the ride that I did didn't have a whole lot of elevation. We spent a lot of time riding through battlefield parks and things like that. Of course, here in Maryland, we have a lot of battlefields from the Civil War, and others as well, but this was a Civil War battlefield. And the good thing is I was remarkably in shape for it. I felt great. My husband rode with me, and the scenery was phenomenally beautiful. The weather was just about perfect. Got some good pictures. Took our time and just really enjoyed it. We took our time and still ended up with an average of 15.9 miles an hour. So it was a beautiful day. And then there was a lot of good food afterwards. So of course, that was the highlight. They had a local creamery, free ice cream. Oh my gosh. I had honey lavender ice cream, a dream. And this is peach season here in Maryland. So everywhere you went, every aid station, I guess they call them rest stops and bike races. I don't know. I'm a salty old ultra runner. I call them aid stations. Every aid station had sliced peaches. Oh, just heaven on earth. And they also had another Maryland favorite, tomato sandwiches. Tomato mayo on bread. Oh my gosh. So I had a great day, great bike ride Saturday. Didn't feel so good yesterday. I don't think it was bike related. I think it was a little bit more anxiety related. And of course it was a rainy, stormy day all day, and I'm just, have some things going on. As a mother, you're never not a mother. You're never not a mama bear. You're never not a mother lion. And when, there's a child on a bicycle came up behind me. You're never not a mother. I would say I scared the kid, but he had earbuds in, so I don't even think he heard me. But you're never not a mother. And my two oldest right now are just going through a lot of major changes. My oldest daughter, God love her, who is smart as a whip and very just everything, has been, the wind has been knocked out of her a little bit, and she's going through a bad divorce, and it's breaking my heart. And it's just very hard for her. And of course, she's got her last class in grad school starting at the same time that all this messy court stuff is going to happen, and they're putting their house up on the market, and it's a bad housing market here right now. But I mean, she's got a plan, and I have complete faith that she's going to be okay, and she's going to execute her plan as she always does. And then my younger daughter, pregnant, due in July. Again, big changes. She's moving back to Maryland from Pennsylvania. She's got a 3-year-old and 1-year-old. She's got her hands full, and her husband's trying to start a business, and it's just a lot of transitions, and of course she's doing all this stuff, and I just worry about her. You know, she's got to take care of herself, you know. Third pregnancy in 4 years, gotta be careful. So I worry about her. So as a mother, all this stuff happening in my life, and you know, I thank God. I'm thankful, so very thankful. And then of course our housing journey. Our contract, we do have a house, beautiful brick house, built in 1938, fireplaces, attic, basement, garage, the works. And a nice, decent neighborhood in Baltimore County. We've had it under contract, and we had it under a contingency with the inspections. Of course, you know, a 1938 house is going to have problems. But when you ask top dollar, you really should mitigate some of the serious ones. You know, like you should have electricity that's not going to, you know, catch fire, that kind of thing. Money. So we extended our contract through today for the right of refusal, I guess. But they're working, it's in the seller's hands right now. We've put out an offer, a reasonable offer. And the sad thing is, I do think the seller is really trying to work with us. The seller wants to knock a little bit off the selling price. The seller has power of attorney, and I honestly believe they just really need to move this property. And I know they want to sell it, but the realtors, particularly the seller's agent, is not wanting to lower the price, because if you lower the price, then our commission's lowered. So they're trying to finagle all these kickbacks and give you this here and give you that there and pay this closing cost and on and on and on. But the reality is they're only doing it so that their commission doesn't drop, and it's hurting both the buyer and seller. I mean, this contract may fall through because the realtor is refusing to lower the price, even if the seller wants them to, because the seller wants to get rid of the house. Because if he's going to sell it to anybody else, and now that they're aware of the faulty wiring, they have to disclose that, and they're not going to get a better deal than what we're offering them. So we have until the end of the day today to sew this up, and I'm hoping we get it. You know, so just to touch on a few other bullet points. Today is September 12th. It was a morning just like this 21 years ago, September 11th, when everybody's world, at least here in America, came crashing down. Yesterday morning I had, I don't even remember what I did. I went out, we went and looked at a house, hideousness, and it was raining, pouring rain, and there's a man standing on the bridge over the beltway with an American flag. I just burst out in tears. It's just so many things of that day. It's amazing, really, when you think about how such high trauma events, such as September 11th, are seared in your mind, and just things can take you back to that emotion, that high emotion. I guess that is a true sign of PTSD, which I have for other reasons, but which I have. And to see him standing there with that flag, and just at that moment, the entire weight of that moment in time on September 11th, watching that happen, it just hit me so hard. You know, it's just, it was highly triggering. And I think that was part of my illness yesterday. Just upset stomach, headache, just, I don't know, malaise, I guess. But there's certain things we just never really get over. It's hard to move on. I mean, and that year, just so many things happened. And so many things happened with 9/11. I think it just was a reality check for someone like me who, up until that point, led a very sheltered, very privileged, very blissful life in so many ways. And that experience just, I think the world cried that day, but it just was so traumatizing to so many people. And to see that man outside holding that flag, I don't know with his trauma what happened for him, but I think we all experience it. It just doesn't go away. So I stayed in yesterday on a rainy day and read a book. My book choices, sometimes I don't know where my head is. I as you know, I'm very political, and also think reading is power, and learning, particularly about the past and our own history, is very powerful. So I read something I had never somehow managed to make it to this point in my life, having never read, as a feminist and as a woman who loves, the protagonist female in fiction and nonfiction alike. I read The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. And, very, very interesting, very interesting. It was incredible. The irony is, I read a book, I had just finished another book last week that I picked up for fun. So I learned about a new author that I never heard of. I can't even remember her name. I think it's Renee Yolante, or I don't remember exactly, but she wrote The Lost Daughter. And I learned about that because I know Netflix made a movie, and I never saw the movie, didn't see the movie. But I was intrigued by the summary of the book. So I went to the library, put The Lost Daughter on hold, and when I went to pick it up, there was, couldn't help but to look through the new releases and everything, and there's a book called The Change. And, written by a woman, Kirsten Miller. And of course, I'm all over that third stage goddess that I am, third stage woman, to have a woman like me, myself, writing about this time of my life. You don't see that often. So I picked it up on a fluke. Fun little fiction. And there was very interesting things in that book too, but it was more of a roller coaster ride. It was more of a magical mystery, crime, all that stuff. That was fun, but then I headed right into the Bell Jar, which basically was very autobiographical for Sylvia Plath and her descent into, I think officially it might have been psychotic depression, or it was her battle with mental health. And it was really, so much of it, looking in hindsight and reading this, is in response to the pressures put on women of the 50s, from the 1950s, of being a mother and a housewife, and then of course being a woman who is educated, and all the expectations put on women. And as she was going through college and just fell into this psychotic depression. Trigger warning, this book has a lot of triggers. I think I would like to have a whole discussion on this book. I wouldn't be the first, I'm sure, but it was very autobiographical. Oh. Forklift, or whatever that is. So that was another whammy on my mental state. yeah. So I think I'll be doing a review on that. And I think I'm going to combine the book written by Sylvia Plath. I think it was published in 1963. I'm going to go over that. I also like to go over The Change with Kirsten Miller, which was published, I believe it was in March of 2022. March or April, March, I think. It was definitely a recent, I think I mentioned before the genre when I looked it up, feminist revenge. What? Yeah. So, yeah. But both of them were interesting in different, very, very different ways. So that's all I really have to say today. I think I got a little emotional. A lot going on in my personal life, a lot going on with my family. Still trying to buy a house. And September 11th. Welcome to the roller coaster ride that is our beautiful, wonderful lives. Even being a woman in the third stage of life, the old crone, here we are, full of emotion, full of thoughts, full of life. Booyah. So I'm on my morning walk. I'm starting to sweat. And I got to get a move on because I started a little late today. But damn, I'm going to get out today because it's going to be raining after work. So happy Monday. And thank you. Peace.